YouTubers, they're starting to prep us for the fall of the dollar, for the collapse of the global economy. That's going to end up being part of the next stage here. They've already got things like the Copenhagen Treaty, which I know Obama said that he can't exactly get that through right now. But you got things like that. You got Codex Alimentarius. You should watch that if you haven't already. There's just a lot of things moving towards one world government, one world economy right now, and they really got to collapse the dollar to really get the one world economy rolling. So take a look at some of this stuff.
I have never heard anyone on television say this before. Watch this.
I mean, oil looks higher, gold looks higher, currencies look weaker, all for the reasons that we talked about before. I mean, you've got huge wage disparities. I don't know how that inevitably resolves itself. It may resolve itself in some type of a global currency crisis. And then if the global currency crisis unfolds, then inevitably you get, I guess, an alignment under a global world government, a new global currency, and a new world order. So we may be moving towards that.
Talk to us a little bit more about this currency crisis you see erupting. What does that assume about what's going to happen to the dollar?
Well, it assumes that the dollar will utterly get destroyed and become virtually worthless.
I can't take it. I can't take it. Well, talk to me a little bit more about this currency crisis. What does that do? Did I hear it wrong? Play just a little snippet again. What did he just say?
If the global currency crisis unfolds, then inevitably you get, I guess, an alignment under a global world government, a new global currency, and a new world order.
That's not good. The guest just said that the dollar would collapse and replaced with some sort of global currency. I mean, have you checked the front page of the Drudge Report today? China is saying, hey, America, you really might want to rethink that whole healthcare thing. It seems pretty expensive. That is our bank. That's like your bank calling up and saying, hey, by the way, I think you guys are spending too much money. That's a pretty big house. If this bank doesn't give us any more loan, or if we burn this bank, there's nobody left. A one world government, a new world order, and the host doesn't even flinch. Apparently that's not even shocking to anybody anymore. Or they're not listening.
In some type of a global currency crisis. Yeah. A global world government. Yeah. A new global currency. Yeah. And a new world order. Yeah, for sure.
I just got a quick article here to go with this. There's a French bank that's already telling their clients how to prepare for a potential global collapse. They go on to say that overall debt is still far too high in almost all rich economies. It gives some percentages saying that even America's debt is 350% of its gross domestic product. It gives some other countries and how they're doing, but it just gives. They're telling their clients how to get away from the global collapse. They say it must be reduced by the hard slog of deleveraging for years. Deleveraging is kind of like what the Indians did when they bought up half the gold at the IMF. They're spending their dollars to get into gold, which is something they expect to last through this thing. Got that, and there's another one here. Debt levels risk another crisis. It's funny that they're saying these debt levels are going to risk another crisis when ever since Obama's been in office, he's been increasing the debt. I think in his year alone, he's created more debt than we have in the entire 200 years of this country. Look at the bailouts and the cost of this health care plan that will pass. They should be voting on it today. Depending on what their vote is on that today, I heard Rush Limbaugh say that when they do a test vote like that, 97% of the time it becomes a law. So if they are successful on that test vote today, you can expect that $1 trillion to add to our debt. They'll begin taxing us for 3 to 4 years before the health care bill even gets implemented. So Obama's been raising taxes, been raising debt, bailout after bailout, and just making our debt unsustainable, where it actually forces the dollar down, and it forces us to just be so overwhelmed with debt that our economy can't survive. So it's just some of the things we're looking at. I personally, I'm not buying gold or anything. I've got a bunch of food and water and my Bible. If you can't trust Jesus through this thing, then I'd hate to be in your shoes. So we'll see what comes, and it's getting so close. If you're not right, you better get right. Jesus is coming.